So hello everyone, if you are just starting out your backend journey, you must be facing these terminologies like HTTP header, 404 HTTP status code, 200 HTTP status code, or if you are familiar about these terms, so 404 code is for those pages which are not found, right? And then we have this 200. So if the page is okay, so if we get successful, the request succeeded, then we should be getting 200 okay. Okay, so let me first show you my code. So here, let me remove it. We will implement it later. So here, I have already set some routing in my from my backend. So if I will go to this path, the response will be this is the overview. Or if I will go to this path, again there will the same response will be on my page. If I will go to this path /products, then the response will end with the message this is the products page. Otherwise, if the path name will not match any of these, the output will be the response from the server will be page not found. Okay, now first let us run this piece of code. Let us see what it is lacking. Okay, so here let me first go to those pages which are okay. So this is the overview it is showing, and you see on the console it is not showing any error. It should not be showing any error. On the network it is showing 200. So that is okay, right? 200 it means okay, and that's what we have defined, that if the user will go to this path, it should show this page, and hence the okay status code should be there, right? Similarly, we have written for products. This is the products page, and again the status code is 200. Okay, now let me go to some other page that we haven't specified. Let me go to the stocks page, and you see page not found is visible here. On the console, it is not showing any error. Also, but on the network, it is again showing a status code 200 OK. Now you must be wondering that we have defined it that if no path matches, then it should return this information. But there can be many scenarios, right? Such type of scenarios are infinite. But so for all those scenarios, the status code should be 404. For those pages which are not found, the status code must be 404, so that our browser knows what does it mean. The server cannot find the requested resource. In the browser, this means the URL is not recognized, right? In an API, this can also mean the endpoint is valid, but source itself does not exist. So there can be multiple scenarios for this case, but it is not showing 200. So how can we do that? So for that, we need to write the header of the response for this particular page. So for such particular page, will become in this else part, and we should write head of that. Write head, and let me first write. So it is already showing me the suggestion. So first argument will be status code. So let me write a status code should be 404 for such type of pages, right? Now let me restart this again, Control C, and then node index.js, and here let me refresh it, and you see now it is showing 404 code. So that is how it should perform, and that is why it is important to write code every time you write such piece of code, right? Now let us click on this, and it will show us headers, preview, response, initiator. Let us go to here, headers. So what is headers? Headers are the piece of information about the response or request. Okay, so header is the piece of information about the response or the request that we are making, or the response that the server is sending back. So if we want some additional piece of information to be added with the request or response, then we use headers. So currently this header, let's go ahead. So response header is showing. So by default, it is showing us the basic features of it, like connection, date, keep alive, transfer, encoding. Okay, now here, if you will go to on MDN documentation, you will see HTTP header is a field, or is the field of HTTP request or response that pass additional context or metadata about the request or response. Okay, for example, response headers with additional information like response, about the response, like its location, about the server, all these things we can mention into the header. So how can we define header? So at here itself, we can specify the headers. You do not need to write any other piece of code. There is one piece of code also, response.set header, but we will not use it here because we are already using right head. We will mention it there only. So on hovering over right header, it is showing us the suggestions, and it is saying that second argument of this function dot write code is a status message. That is optional. We don't need to write it. Then third argument can be the header. So header is an object, and generally we write like that, content type. So what type of content type the browser can expect? So the browser can expect text or HTML, right? So we can even write our own metadata. So for example, let me write my own data, something like that, my own data. And here you can define its value, hello world, right? Now let us save it and let us run the script again. It is very important. You cannot keep on doing the changes in the same running script. You need to stop the running script and need to restart the script again. So node index.js. Now let us go to our page. Let's restart it. Okay, now for this page is not found. For that only we have set the header. So 404 it is showing error correctly. On click on this stocks. Now see here on response header it is showing us content type this, and even it is showing our own metadata hello world. So that is what is the power of HTTP response header. I'm only defining response header. Later on we will see request header also. So for this video I think that's it. If you have any other doubt, let me know.